Live, local, late breaking. This is KOLD News 13 Live.
A big change that you voted on set to take effect for all Arizona workers. KOLD News 13, Cynthia Washington has more on a new requirement about sick leave. We're going to check in with her in just a moment. Good morning. It's 6 o'clock on this Friday. I'm Wendy Redman.
Nice to see you. I'm Andrew Capasso. Thanks for joining us on this Friday. We start with a look outside, and not too bad right now. Meteorologist Kira Miner has the numbers. Good morning to you.
Good morning, guys. That's right. Happy Friday. Temperatures actually dipping down into the low 70s, something that we haven't seen in quite some time here in Tucson. 71 degrees at the airport. We are seeing plentiful sunshine with that southeasterly breeze now picking up around 14 miles per hour. Now we're seeing some pretty dry air in place. The dew point yesterday at this time into the low 40s. Now it's 17 degrees. Relative humidity at 13%. So that is telling us it is bone dry outside. We're also looking at the mid 60s in Sierra Vista, 62 degrees. Nogales, Phoenix at 83 at this hour. Casa Grande, sunny and 75. Flagstaff, low 50s for them. And out to the west in Yuma, clear skies and temperatures just shy of that 80-degree mark. So the morning drive should be a nice and comfy one for you. By 7 a.m., we'll work our way back into those mid to upper 70s, 83 degrees by the 8 o'clock hour. And by 9, we're looking at temperatures soaring back into the upper 80s, close to 90 degrees. As far as the wind department goes, not too much of a breeze, around 5 to 15 miles per hour out of the west and southwest, but I am tracking a few rain chances for the holiday. That's all coming up on my full forecast in just a bit. Andrew.
6:01 and new this morning. Scary moments in Mescal after a brush fire leads to evacuations. That fire now under control. We're told it sparked around 12:30, quickly burned about 20 acres just off Mescal Road. Some homes had to be evacuated. At this hour, everyone allowed back in. No word yet on what started that fire.
Andrew, heading out the door here at 6:01. We do still have this traffic light issue. This is at Oracle and Miracle Mile in Midtown. I would treat that area as a four-way stop or maybe even avoid it altogether this morning because, as you know, that's a pretty busy part of Oracle. So Stone to Grant are good ways to do that. Now, the rest of the roads, they look pretty good. We do have construction to get to, and a look at the rest of your roads. I will have that coming up and another check of that traffic light issue as well. Angelica.
Thanks, Sasha. Happening right now, I want to show you a live look out to the National Mall. Just moments ago, Vice President Mike Pence and South Korean President Moon Jae-in laid a wreath at the Veterans Memorial, Korean War Veterans Memorial there at the National Mall. This is Moon Jae-in's first trip to the U.S., and in just a couple of hours, he will head to the White House to meet with President Trump. I'm going to be staying on top of that meeting for you throughout the morning. Wendy, over to you. Arizona businesses and their employees are getting ready for tomorrow. That's when the second phase of Proposition 206 goes into effect. It's something you voted to pass in the November election.
That's right, and it gives all employees in our state paid sick leave. KOLD News 13 Cynthia Washington find out how local businesses feel about this change. She's live to tell us what they told her. Cynthia, good morning.
Good morning. Well, many businesses across Tucson, even here at Epic Cafe, were hit hard with the first phase of Prop 206 when minimum wage raised to $10 an hour. Now being impacted again when they're forced to pay sick leave. Now, Alex Hartley, she's a manager here at Epic Cafe, and she's worked here for years. She tells me she's excited that she was able to get paid if she calls in sick. In the past, if she had to take a day off, she had to plan ahead financially. That's because she wouldn't see those hours on her next paycheck. But that's all changing tomorrow. Companies here in Arizona with more than one employee must offer paid sick time off. Now, that includes part-time, seasonal, even temporary employees. Now, for every 30 hours an employee works, they earn 1 hour of paid sick time. Now, Hartley and her coworkers are calling it a much-needed mandate, but small businesses say they may have to pass that extra cost onto their customers.
Everything affects us. I mean, minimum wage affected us. I'm happy for my coworkers, but you know, as a small business, we definitely were affected. We had to cut some hours for some people. But at the same time, I have a 16-year-old son, and so him joining the workforce now, it's pretty exciting.
Now, smaller businesses with less than 15 employees must give their employees at least 24 hours of paid sick time. Bigger companies with 15 or more employees required 40 hours. For now, reporting live from 4th Avenue, Cynthia Washington, KOLD News 13, live local 8 breaking.
Cynthia, at 6:04 and happening today, a man accused of killing his stepdaughter in Vail heads back to court. Joshua Levier's court appearance deals with his soon-to-be ex-wife and the restraining order she wants. She's already filed for divorce. Levier, you remember, charged with killing 13-year-old Jaden Glome. Her body found in the desert in Vail last month. The Leviers pleaded not guilty to a first-degree murder charge.
The Trump administration says it wants to arrest parents and other relatives who investigators believe smuggled their children into the United States. Immigration and Customs Enforcement are calling it a new surge initiative. It would mean the arrest of adult sponsors who paid smugglers to bring children across the border. This move is a sharp departure from the Obama administration. You may remember nearly 170,000 children fleeing violence in Central America. They were placed with sponsors across the country. The House approved 2 bills to crack down on illegal immigration. The No Sanctuary for Criminals Act allows the government to deny federal money to so-called sanctuary cities that don't cooperate with ICE officials, which could include Tucson. Also, a bill known as Kate's Law that would impose harsher prison sentences on deportees who re-enter the United States. It's named after Catherine Steinle, who was killed by an undocumented immigrant in 2015. The Trump administration is making some changes to its controversial travel ban already. People from 6 mainly Muslim nations are being refused entry to the U.S. unless they have business ties or can prove a family relationship. The administration is now altering its definition of family relationship to include fiancés.
This morning, Hawaii filing a lawsuit against that travel ban. That's because the ban prevents, quote, close family members from entering the country. That includes grandparents, aunts, uncles, and cousins. Lawyers for Hawaii claim in their state, those types of relatives are considered close family. President Trump's Twitter rant from yesterday, still big news across the country this morning. You first heard this yesterday here on KOLD News. Mr. Trump described MSNBC's Mika Brzezinski as, quote, low IQ, crazy Mika. He also claims she had a facelift and had been bleeding badly. Democrats, even fellow Republicans, continue to criticize the president for those comments.
Obviously, I don't see that as an appropriate comment. I think, look, what we're trying to do around here is improve the tone and the civility of the debate, and this obviously doesn't help do that.
Deputy Press Secretary Sarah Huckabee Sanders defended the president's tweet as a justified response to attacks from the media.
And I think that the president has been attacked mercilessly on personal accounts by members on that program. And I think he's been very clear that when he gets attacked, he's going to hit back.
On this morning's television program, both hosts said they are, quote, okay. And in this morning's Washington Post, Mika Brzezinski and her Morning Joe co-host / fiance Joe Scarborough said the president should just stop watching that program.
And Andrew, the president not stopping watching that program. Just moments ago, he tweeted about the show again this morning. Watch low rated at Morning Joe for the first time in a long time. Fake news. He called me to stop a National Enquirer article. I said no, bad show. So the president once again taking on the MSNBC show this morning. A lot of reactions still coming in. I'm going to keep my eye out on Twitter this morning, let you know what comes of this. Wendy.
President Trump and South Korean President Moon Jae-in facing cameras together today at the White House. It's the second day of talks for these 2 leaders. They're talking trade and North Korea. Last night, President Trump hosted his North Korean counterpart for dinner and afterward tweeted that it was a very good meeting. You just saw the South Korean president with Vice President Mike Pence. They were laying a wreath to pay tribute to the people, to veterans who fought in the Korean War.
All right, coming up on 6:08 on our Friday morning, off to a pretty nice start. A lot of sunshine, a live look outside from our Casino del Sol sky cam. You can actually see some of that sunlight now reflecting off some of those buildings. Upper 60s currently at Davis Monthan with the breeze around 8 miles per hour out of the south and southeast. Marana now checking in at 71 degrees. How about Vail at 66 degrees under sunny skies? Sarita dipping down to 60 degrees, believe it or not, with that calm wind. And Fort Huachuca looking at clear skies, 66 with a south wind around 5 miles per hour. We'll see that wind pick up as we go throughout the afternoon out of a westerly direction from 5 to 15 miles per hour. We have the mid 70s by 6 a.m. and then we're looking at 99 degrees by the lunch hour, topping out near 105 here in Tucson. Still above the average though. Our average high for today 102. So again, we're going to be looking at even hotter temperatures for Saturday and then a slight cool down by early next week, plus some rain chances in the next 7 days. We'll have that coming up in my full forecast in just a bit. Sasha.
Thanks so much for that. Kira, 6:09. line right now, I do have an update for you to this Midtown situation here. We're talking about Miracle Mile in Oracle. Tucson police did just send out an alert saying they are diverting traffic from this area because of this traffic light issue. So you'll definitely have to avoid it. As I've been telling you, these alternates here are Stone or Grant to completely avoid that area right near the interstate there. Now, coming up in just a few minutes, I will have another check of this situation. We'll also check the roads around the rest of Tucson. Fairly busy morning here in Tucson. That's coming up next. Wendy.
We're now approaching 6:10. As firefighters work to get the upper hand on wildfires burning across the state, many are thinking of the hotshots who lost their lives in the Yarnell fire, as today marks the 4-year anniversary.
And why one local woman is thanking first responders this morning. We will hear from her. And this Friday, don't forget to join us on Facebook Live. Some of you speaking out about the paid sick leave, which goes into effect tomorrow. And Angelica answering some questions right now for you right now. So join us on our Tucson News Now Facebook page and join the conversation. See you there in a minute.
A young mother missing for 3 years. Can a recent arrest solve this baffling cold case?
Nobody's found